week's one. Anybody wants to say?
Saram Suresh.
Yeah.
Last week we talked about truth, Satya.
Mm.
In our sadhana, of course, truth is very important. Swami's name is truth. But there is a question that we need to understand and contemplate about. That is, I think many years ago, I read in the Zampo or even in the Tao, we say the truth is not Tao. Can someone explain?
The truth is not Tao, is it?
Yeah.
Tao as in
Something like that. Taoism says not Tao. Zen also, I believe, the truth is not the final.
I think maybe the exact quotation is the Tao that can be spoken of is not the real Tao. Because Tao is something very abstract, so you cannot describe it in words.
Yeah, Budi, you got it you got it 100% correct. Actually, the truth is beyond truth. The truth is beyond truth. It cannot be described. It cannot be. You only can experience. You cannot say out or you cannot explain. Silent.
Okay, thank you, and thank you. Nice. So, what did you manage to? James, did you manage to have that satsang on Wednesday?
Yeah. They were so happy,
They
organized it. No, I organized. They organized. I just asked them whether they want it. So the
Why
committee organized it.
Why don't you just narrate a little bit of that experience?
Okay, we have a nice dinner in a Chinese restaurant. But I think this is all Swami view because why? I never seen a table so big that you can sit 13 people. Most of the Chinese table normally 10 or 11. But there were 13 of us came. Just nice to see an extra big table, Surprisingly, it's extra. First time in my life I see so big the table, And then we have very nice dishes. They enjoy the Chinese food. After the food, somehow, of course, they'll be talking about neighbors and all that. And then I said, okay, let's have satsang. So we go individually. Surprising, even the chairman or even the stakeholder didn't know like Sister Paru, who is the spiritual coordinator for Johor, her background. So in the satsang, when she talked about her life, young time, how he behaved, how she behaved, and how she goes spiritual, everybody was caught by surprise. And then they personally share their experience, like the state coordinator said, he has children in the house, he already praying to Swami and all that. Then, one morning he was going out and then he forgot to take something. He made a U-turn, and go back. Then he saw smoke coming out from his house, I think he has 3 children, three children like that, if I'm correct. I don't know whether he's here or not, So anyway, he expert in putting out fire. I think he's something on this line. So it's some plastic burning, So to us, we think that, he saved the house. Actually, to me, not only saved the house, also saved the 3 children, So he's like very devoted to Swami, surrendered to Swami, very happy that, the children are safe, the house are safe and all that. So very interesting. Everybody was very happy. In fact, by the time the restaurant supposed to close at 8:30, the chairman, Brother Ravi, asked for special extension to 9 o'clock. So even 9 o'clock, we didn't finish the satsang, then we said we better go because, they're waiting for us to close. It was a period. They said probably every year they would like to organize one among the leaders and, the committee and all that. Or I don't know how they're going to organize, but it was a very good satsang. Sairam.
Thank you, James. I think it's quite nice if we know early and then we can, because it's always nice to meet up with the devotees and then speak about God and, things like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so Billy, today's group is? Which group is today? Group 2.
Group 3. No, Group 2 has presented last week.
Sabitan did that.
Yeah. So today is Mr. Kamlesh?
Sai Ram, brother, yes. I'll share the screen.
Sure. Yes, we can see your screen, sister.
We can see now, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Here you can see.
Sai Ram, everybody. And Baba has given me another chance, and our whole group another chance. And may we feel his presence in our presentation. And we had the Namavali number 3 and number 7 for our group. And Sister Ginny cannot come today, but she has sent a part for her to be delivered. And will anybody, can anybody please read out from our group? Sister Ramani, Sister Prasanna, Sister Purnima, anybody?
Right up, sister.
Yes,
You want me to read the slide?
yes, yes.
Okay. Sairam, everyone. The 108 Sai Namavadi or Ashtotra Namavadi is a list of 108 names of Lord Sai Baba in Sanskrit. The names describe Sai Baba with attributes such as destroyer of obstacles, giver of happiness, refuge of devotees, embodiment of all powers, and bestower of liberation.
Please continue.
Okay. So the third one is Om Shri Satya Sāi, Om Śri Sāi Satya Dharma Parāyaṇāya Namaḥ. Salutations to Śri Sāi, who is wholly devoted to truth and righteousness. Bhagavan Shri Satya Sai Baba repeatedly emphasizes the importance of Satya, truth, and Dharma, righteousness, in his teachings. These two principles are the pillars of a virtuous life and are essential for personal and societal well-being. Baba encourages individuals to lead lives grounded in truth and righteousness, thereby fostering love, peace, and unity in the world. By embodying these principles, individuals not only elevate their own spiritual journey, but also contribute positively to society, promoting a culture of integrity and compassion. Do we have to stop or continue?
Continue. Read the whole of it with the questions.
Okay. Truth is not merely the absence of falsehood, but is a profound commitment to purity and unity of thought, word, and action. Living in alignment with truth leads to inner peace and spiritual growth as it fosters authenticity and sincerity in relationships and interactions. Dharma, on the other hand, refers to the ethical and moral duties one has towards oneself, others, and the universe. Adhering to Dharma is the only means to cultivate harmony and justice in society. Everyone has a unique role in the cosmic order, and fulfilling one's Dharma is crucial for the greater good. And the highest expression of righteousness is truth. Satya nasti paro dharmaha. That is, there is no highest dharma than truth. Then we discuss these two questions. So the first question is, what will I do to strengthen my commitment to purity and unity of thought, word, and deed, and thus contribute to the greater good of society? Read the next one too, sister.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Both of them.
The second question is, the decline of Dharma is the reason for man to lose his peace and happiness. How far is this true? How can we muster courage to lead a righteous life?
How much is the increase increment?
Thank you so much, sister.
Thank you, Simon.
So the main points to discuss here are about the Satya, Dharma, which are the two principles, these two principles, which are the pillars of a virtuous life, and a profound commitment to purity and unity of thought, word, and action. Because this is what forms the Satya and Dharma, the purity and unity of thought, word, and action. So Sister Jeannie had sent this, though she could not be here. Sister Prasanna, would you like to read it for us?
Okay, sister, yeah. What Sister Jeannie has given us, Om Shri Satya Dharma Parāyaṇāya Namaḥ, the third one.
Yes.
Salutations to Lord Sai, who propagates truth and righteousness. Satya is truth, Dharma is righteousness, Parāyaṇā means interested in or absorbed in. Baba has come to establish Satya, Dharma, Shanti, and Prema in the world. From his childhood, he used to teach his friends the importance of truth and righteousness. He told them, never deviate from the path of truth in your daily life under any circumstance. Never speak untruth. There is nothing more powerful than the truth. Truth alone will protect you. So Bhagavan Baba lays the stress on the development of character and discipline. He says the end of education is character. He has started several schools and colleges and a deemed university at Prashanti Nilayam. Here, the students acquire not only academic excellence and skills, but also gain self-knowledge and self-confidence. They become shining examples of spiritual awareness and its beneficial consequences to the individual and to the society.
Sri Satya Sai Baba has been working all his life in propagating the truth and righteousness, which are the root of our human existence. And let's see what we had discussed. These are the two questions. And what we discussed in our group, the points which were made were like, we have to understand well what is the purity and the unity of thought, word, and deed, to have constant integrated awareness, and always to see within yourself, see always inside, which is SAI sign. And Veda Shastras are the like bands, they regulate the flow of the feelings, emotion, and instincts along safe channels. So it's very important to imbibe the teachings of the Vedas. And here, if we cannot do that, then we at least read and imbibe the thought for the day. That's a very good guide for us. Then follow the 9 codes of conduct, and especially do the Namsmaran and meditation, regulation in food intake, sattvic food through all the senses, and company of the virtuous. And we have to be content, humble, and detached. So be determined and steady on this path of truth, and thus inspire the others to transform. So we will not go into all the points, because our question is that what will I do to strengthen my own commitment? Yes, and contribute to the greater good for the society, because we all understand all these points. And just a little bit here, that Satya and Dharma are the pillars of a virtuous life. So because truth and righteousness, which is Satya and Dharma, are the root of the human existence. Whatever comes out of the heart is unsullied, pure form from the voice of the conscience. So that is the truth. And when the thought comes and it is imprinted on our heart, a pure thought, and that is called the Rut. So utterance of this Rut, which is imprinted in a heart, is called the truth. Practice of the uttered words is called Dharma, as we all know. But the difference lies here when there's unity in thought, word, and deed. It can be good, it cannot be, may not be good also. So the important part is the voice of the conscience to bring the purity into the unity of our thought, word, and deed. So all those who had followed, we have the examples of the Pandavas and the Prahlad, because they adhered to the dharmic strength, they were saved. So we take examples from them. On the other hand, the Kauravas and the Hiranyakaships, they, in spite of having vast resources, they were destroyed finally because of the lack of the dharmic strength. They did not follow dharma. And dharma and truth, they both are interconnected, because truth, dharma cannot be dharma if it is not the truth. So that truth, which comes from the voice of the conscience, is the real pure truth, which we learn and which we need to practice, that truth. So question 1, I invite Sister Shamini to please share your sharings.
Just a minute, sister. Because Sister Zini sent this Ruta and this thing, so I was really interested because I didn't know what is Ruta. So I just did some search and I read something which I just want to share. The term Ruta is named as also is Rit, and it's Rit means to move, which comes from the root Ri. Yeah, the universe dynamical concept which is described as one which moves and evolves, or the divine law of representing is Rita. So Rita can be translated as a natural law and is a Vedic legal term. It's indeed possible to say that Vedic intellectuals were strongly affected by natural phenomena of power such as sun, moon, rainfall, and cyclones. So the nature of law was characterized as Rita, which means global peace and discipline in the Vedic era. And as the universe basis of order, it conveyed symmetry and artistic shape of the all natural events, which we call yin and yang in the Chinese concept. This is what it meant, Rita. So the laws that regulate the operation and the observable cosmos makes up the order and balance. Rita is a method by which cosmic intellect manifests itself in reality, whether it is in construction, maintenance, or any relation of the universe. So in Rigveda, scholars interpreted Rita to mean peace and discipline, through which the tranquility and the function of the foundation of the moral rules. So as a result, what has happened, the Rita is transferred as a nature's basic intrinsic law. This is why I could gather, which we share that it's imprinted on the heart. And Rita is mankind's directing and maintaining force, ordaining the rules of the material realms, and regulates the natural law like birth, development, and degradation. So Rita has been further, it's been transformed into truth, and finally, in our age, is for Dharma, as Dharma. And the basic fundamental, I was really surprised that Dharma is what Swami has given the 5 human values. Is a part of, it encapsulates the full thing. So it was saying that Dharma originates from the breath Ri, which means to keep. Dharma is stated to maintain, support, preserve, keep, and stimulate the human good, human pleasure, and human decency, and strengthens the link between legality and ethics. So Dharma is a global in nature, since it doesn't belong to any religion. Dharma is global, since it aims for the human welfare, pleasure, dignity, and prosperity of the mankind. And Dharma is used for righteous behavior in aspects of human life. Dharma is not the same as religion, It is relevant to the people of all faiths. The sanctity of Dharma resides in the fact that it connects humanity rather than dividing it, as religion does. Dharma is preventive in nature, establishing a code of righteous behavior that stops a person from breaking the rules. That is Dharma, in order to guarantee individual and social peace and justice. There was a shloka which I really liked it, that where it says that what is the fundamental Dharma, rules of Dharma, and it says ahimsa, satyam, asatyam, shauchamindriya, nigraha, yetam samsika dharma, chaturvarne brahmavna. Means there are 5 pillars of Dharma which has been described in Vedic scriptures. And the first one is ahimsa, that is non-violence, that is for avoiding harm, inflicting harm on others, avoiding hurting other people in the minds, in people's mind and the body. Second is Satyam, which we always, Baba has said, Satya, Dharma, Shanti. So Satyam is being the honest and fair in the word and deed. Third one is Asatyam, non-stealing, not obtaining money or fortune through unethical or unlawful ways. And the fourth is cleanliness, the purity of one's thought, word, and action, or the conformance of one's thought, words, and actions. And the fifth one is control of senses, that is Indriya Nigraha, restraining the senses from engaging in wrongdoing. So Dharma is the ethical, moral, and social meaning. It is therefore the basis of order, consistency, and uniformity of individual. What Rita is for the cosmic realm. Dharma is the social law, which enforces all folks' duties, responsibility, and convention in order to maintain social order. So this is what I read about Dharma. I thought, because mostly we say Dharma, a lot of people conclude as a religion or something, but it's not. Dharma is a moral law, and that's why it is called right conduct in Swami's parlance. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Brother Manoj. It was very interesting and very informative. So we go on to the next slide. No, this is Sister Shamini. Please, may I invite you to share your.
If anybody has anything, please discuss on this, because this I also read Rita and Dharma. So if anybody has any questions or something, we can further discuss and deepen our knowledge.
Yeah, this Dharma also refers to the divine role that each of us has, So as we grow through life, we gather different Dharma, okay? First is a Dharma of a son, then Dharma of a daughter, Dharma of a student, then Dharma of a office worker, Dharma as a leader. Each of these Dharma has got different roles, okay? So then Dharma of a husband and wife, then as the husband and wife then have children, then Dharma of parents.
Yeah,
okay,
that's correct, Brother Billy. Because when the term Dharma is used in the sense of civil rights, like civil law, it implies that it is actionable by the government. Whenever the word Dharma is used in regard to the criminal law, it means that it is a violation and obligation of Raj Dharma, that is a country's law. Similarly, when it is asserted that Dharma Rajya, it is important that folks' wealth and serenity, as well as the establishment of equal humanity in terms of Dharma, in the framework of word Rajya, means country, merely refers to the law. And Dharma Rajya implies the rule of law. And it is not religious authority or a theoretic dictatorship. And when the term Dharma is used to imply the offering of one's money for social benefit, it implies charity. When it is used to imply in granting the dharma to the panhandlers, means money to the poor. When it is said that it is dharma in favor of the plaintiff, in a particular case, it implies legislation in the fairness. And when it is said that it is dharma which of sons to look after the elderly parents, it implies to duty. And when it is asserted that it is the borrower's dharma to return the lender, it refers to both legal and religious responsibility. So there are so many in Indian scriptures. The dharma has been described in a different names. It's called Raj Dharma, Rajya Dharma, Rajasana, Rajya Shastra, Rajya Niti Shastra, defined by the ideals in the government. So it's got a very broader look, dharma, which regulates the full humanity, and it binds. So it's basically not a compulsion. It is from inbuilt. It's come from the heart that this dharma we have to follow. It is not in binding like a law that you have to do it, but still, if the people who are connected to the dharma, who follow dharma, they regulate themselves. So it is not forced from outside. It is from self enforcing. That is the difference of this dharma which we are talking about. Saira.
Swami has emphasized also that for that will be peace in the world, first of all, there must be righteousness in the heart.
Yeah.
Swami said that when there's righteousness in the heart, then there's beauty in character. And when there's beauty in character, there's harmony in the home. And when there's harmony in the home, there's order in the nation. And when there's order in the nation, then there's peace in the world.
Yeah, that's the thing. See what happened in the Rita, what has happened that rishis, what they saw that the nature and that all the typhoons coming, flood coming, and good thing. So they made a deity for each of the things like Varuna or other gods like Indra or something like that. And they started worshipping so that it brings balance. The same thing which has been followed here in Dharma is that we have the different laws for different different sects of the society. So that finally what happened that we live in a peace and harmony if we follow all these dharmic laws, like taking care of the parents if they're old, then our children will take care of us. So like it's a tradition which is we're following. And if everybody follows the dharma, I think it's dharma protects itself if you follow the dharma. So I think there will not be any calamity and there'll be peace and harmony in the society. That's why in Rita, the scholars, the rishis, they used to pray to all these gods like rain god, fire god, sun god, all these people, so that they shower their blessings on us so that we can live a harmonious life. In the same way, for modern people, for our time, it is our duty to follow the dharma of what is dharma of a son, what is dharma of a politician, what is dharma of a lawyer, dharma of a doctor. I think to a certain extent it has been given, but if we follow all this, I think there'll be a balance in the society, and we can live a very happy life. Saira.
Yeah.
Brother, what Manu say is probably all true. But then in life, even we follow all the Dharma, we still go to our difficulties because sufferings and all that. Probably the future might not. But at present, we are born here, also partly to pay our karma. That's where Swami said we have to learn to accept them, right? It's not that we follow Dharma means no problem, we pray to God means no problem. You know Baba doesn't mean no problem. In fact, you know Baba, you got more problem, right? If instead, coming to Baba, because you have to quicken your cleansing, So these are the things sometimes we have to face. This is more realistic than say totally no problem. Actually, we have to go through problem. Somebody say it's because of problem we become wiser and more experienced. Silent.
Yes, Brother James, you're truly correct. Because the problem only teaches us the lesson that where we went wrong, knowingly or unknowingly also. Of course, the karma is the guiding factor, but what happened that if you follow the dharma, the effect of this thing, like if I'm suffering and suddenly I say this is, I'm very agitated, but the suppose thought comes that I'm letting go my old karma. So then what happens? Little bit of peace and tranquility come, and the agitation reduces. So this way, what happened that the dharma, if you follow, and finally, what happens? It gives you the inner strength, because even there are challenges in the life and in the office or somewhere, and then we say that I have done the truth, I have spoken the truth, I'm not be worried about it. But if I have not followed the dharma in that time also, I'll be always scared that I will be caught, my name and my fame will go. So following the dharma becomes very, very crucial in our life to live a peaceful and loving life. Saira.
Sairam, the examples below are given, like Pandavas and Prahalad. They also faced so many problems in their lives, but their adherence to the Dharma gave them all the strength and gave them the grace of God. Anybody else, any more questions or any more discussions about it, points about it?
Yeah, Saram sister. The other thing is an open discussion for most of them who normally keep quiet, or hopefully they'll talk more. In real life situation, it's our dharma to tell the truth. But what will you do when the situation arrives? When you tell the truth, it can hurt the other person or the family, or the person do not like the truth for certain reason. You know, you tell the truth, he is unhappy. What will you do?
It's a question for me. Okay.
I think open to everyone, sister.
Open to everyone, yes. Thank you so much.
I think it depends on what the truth is. The truth is going to hurt someone. I think you better not say it. Because Swami says, help I will hurt never. Or if the truth is going to offend someone or hurt them in certain way, we do not say it. But in this context, Swami said that we have to speak truthful all the time. But I think there are times that we should, not lie. Silence is the best. Sometimes just saying silent is the best, rather than giving comments.
Yeah, I think it's a good question that Brother James has raised, and it's very practical also. That I think we have discussed further in this our discussions also, which we will come to know out examples. But I think adherence to the truth is always good. But it is said that we have to speak the truth, but unpleasant truth should not be also spoken. It's in the Shastra. It is said that, like, if a blind man is coming, you cannot say, "You blind man, come and go there." So last week I was reading a quote where it says that a blind man went to the temple. So people started laughing at him, saying that, "What, you're going to the temple? Can you see the God?" So the blind man said, "Yes, I cannot see the God, but my Lord can see me. So I have come to take his blessings." So idea is that truth can be also changed back into a very pleasant way of speaking, instead of like those people are saying. They're literally pointing on the blind man's shortcoming, that he's blind and he cannot see anything of the temple. But the way he replied was so touching that at least my God has got eyes and he can see me. So these are the things where we have to speak in a pleasant way to speak the truth. And of course, as brother said, that if it is not necessary to speak the truth, just silence is the best. Because I think there was a story in our Shastras also, that some Rakshasa, he went or somebody, he went in the ashram of a rishi, and he asked for the protection of his life because he's been chased by his enemy. So I think it was, and Durvasa was coming or something, like some rishi was there. So what the rishi did was, he dug a hole and he said, sit behind this and I'll sit on top of you. And this man, looking to kill him, comes to the rishi and asks, where is this man? Have you seen him? So, and the sage was in a very he was very famous for his anger. So this when he says, the rishi says, yes, I'm sitting on top of him. What do you want to do? So the person was coming to kill him. He said, oh, okay, sorry, and he went away. So this thing was that he spoke the truth. At the same time, he saved the life of that person. So idea is that this is how our truth has to be transformed for welfare. And once that feeling is there, I think the words will come surely from our mouth to protect or to hold the Dharma. Sairam.
Saram, I think Manoj mentioned a very good thing. Sometimes the truth is hurtful, and yet we are advised not to tell or not to say about it. But the higher truth is, we also have to do our best to inform the person that although it's hurtful, there must be some way, not all, but occasionally there will be some way or some time where you can, in a very yin way means very soft way, indicate to him that what he done was wrong and he won't feel hurtful also. So it doesn't mean hurtful means, to me, hurtful means, oh, better don't talk. You're going to hurt him. But sometimes we have to find other way, just like just now the rishi, you have to find other way to solve the issue. So telling the truth is hurtful. Yes, we have to find another soft way or another time where it's proper to inform the person. It's not easy. Sometimes it takes days. Sometimes situation happen like not to him, to somebody near him, which is the same thing which he can see by himself. That means you indicate, see, something like that. Then he also like, hey, last time I also did something wrong. I don't know. For me, I always find way and mean not to hurt the person, but in a very subtle way, indicate to him there is another better way of doing things. Sairam.
Yeah, I agree with Uncle James. The truth can be said in it's a proper way and without offending the person in out of empathy, very proper way to put the truth and tell the person. I think it's acceptable rather than just lending to the person.
Also, you see in our orchestra, everybody in that orchestra has got notes, and all the instruments will be used to produce music. So at that appropriate moment, at that appropriate time, that particular instrument is played, and then another moment, another instrument is played. But from a listener's perspective, everything is so beautifully done. So every individual, every musical, every talented musician needs to know that that dharmic moment they have to play. So each one has got a swadharma to do. But the swadharma must be in accordance to the notes written by the conductor, and the conductor conducts it, you see. So if one person just stands up and does anything and everything that he wants to do, the whole orchestra will go capsize because its noise is coming. So what does it mean? That's why Billy said, if there's righteousness in the heart. This is the meaning of that word, which means every individual should know what exactly they should be doing. If everyone performs in his world the right thing, then there will be symphony, there will be action. So like Rutha in English word is rhythm. The dharmic rhythm must be extremely vibrant. And Baba said also, one is Swadharma, but Swadharma must go towards Atma Dharma. See, everything that we are doing must be going towards truth. So the Dharma has a flow. We work in the office, we have children, all this is good. This is all Dharma, Swadharma. But the Swadharma must move towards Satya. So when it goes towards Satya, the truth, the ultimate truth, and that is what in the beginning, James also said, ultimate truth in the Tho concept cannot be described. Why? Because it's the highest reality. And highest reality has no description, because to describe it, you need words, and this is beyond words. So whenever we are moving towards Atmic Dharma, Atma Dharma, even if some people are not doing right, and you need to say certain things, normal standpoint, I don't get involved, I'm not bothered, this is normal standpoint. So silence is prescribed because you don't have the moral courage and the stamina to do it. However, if the consciousness has become heightened and it is very high, correcting that individual or saying something politely and rightly for him to remind. Why? Because out of love. Why? Because if he doesn't know, by saying something, he may be a little bit disturbed, but it's far better than he falls down on the hole in the later on in his life. So by correcting certain people, certain things at the right time, atmically, because you are concerned about his evolution as well, then that is something that is for the purposes of betterment for him and another individual, and that individual. So it has to be playing, Dharma it's not separate, it has to move towards Satya. And that is why in our prayers you always say, Asatoma Sadgamaya. The reason is, every day this truth is changing. And the truth can change according to the consciousness. Higher the consciousness, truth, that yesterday's relative truth becomes today's truth. But today's truth can become again another relative truth when our consciousness becomes higher and higher. So in our search for the ultimate truth, the Dharma must lead us to that. So in chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita, there is a phrase which they have used. It's called yajna. So in the early days, they keep on pouring the yajna, swaha, swaha. So the Gita in the chapter 3, in the Karma Yoga chapter, they have used this word yajna. But actually, the misunderstanding of that is that people think that we have to do yajna, we have to do yajna. That's one ritualistic way of doing it. But what they're trying to imply is that in every dharmic act that you're doing, or even if it's swadharma, when you do it in the spirit of yajna spirit means bringing down the I and the my. Why? Because yajna, they bring twigs from far away, they bring food from far away. Many people from the villages will bring different types of things, but they just put it in the community part, and from there they pool their resources and conduct the yajna for the sake of loka kalyan, which means for the sake of the world peace. This is how communities those days never had internet. They didn't have Instagram and all that. So this is their way of coming together for the purposes of something higher. But what is critical is, when we are doing the action, it must be done with the spirit of yajna. What is the spirit of the yajna? Reduce the I and the my. So when we keep on reducing the I and the my, the swa dharma becomes more and more sharper. Whatever that you're doing, I and my is slowly coming down. The river of Dharma is moving towards the destination of Satya. That's why the word Satya also, that there's a word tha. Swami said tha, it comes from the word tapas. So once we have the word tapas in Satya, you go to Satya. Ya is withdrawal. That means the senses are now withdrawing themselves from the outer world, using the tapas to reach the Sa, which is the expression of Sat, which means the reality. That is, even the Satya itself has the methodology of reaching the higher truth. The word Satya itself, Swami said, Satya, 3 words described, comes from 3 different states, describing what Satya means. So this whole process is a very intricate process and not separated. And how do you do that? How do you do this? That's why we must come back to the mantra. Parāyaṇāya Namaḥ. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means one who is absorbed in it. That's the term that used. One who is completely immersed in it. So what does this mean? How do I make now I must turn this into my life, right? That's what the whole purpose of this mantra chanting is. You have to turn it into, how do you turn it into yourself? Now every concern, always infused. Everything that you're doing is whether, is it dharmic, is it satya, is it right, is it right? Is this what is done? Is this okay? Is this good enough? Should we improve? Should we? So when we have that inquisitiveness to expand that consciousness, what happens is you are absorbed in the tapas of dharma and satya. Then that is itself will take you to the truth. We don't even need to search for the truth. That river will take us to the truth because we are very earnest to excel, earnest to do it to the perfection. So that particular third of Namavali is actually an ideal that each of us should be aspiring for us to be completely absorbed and immersed in truth and satya. That is what this mantra, I think, is. Saira.
Sir, I'm just going to share experience as well. I just watched a video the other day where I saw Swami actually telling a person, apparently he's state minister of Gujarat. In that video, Swami is telling him that you should reduce your belly fat, Swami was tapping his stomach and saying you should reduce your belly fat because you're a state leader now. Even Swami, so sometimes he say things, he say the things just it's out of love, and the thing is to correct you, So when I saw the video, I was thinking, what if now if I go to somebody and tell them you should reduce your body fat, reduce your belly fat? There's already body shaming in this case. Say that to people, and we categorize it as body shaming. But Swami did that to the state chief himself.
Yeah, aside, brother, I think what I felt is that we all, when we say, we all have some defect or something, but Swami was a perfect personality, and if he says, I mean, he's saying with the full authority, and he has practiced it and he has done it. So I think that effect is more. Whereas if we tell a colleague and we also have some similar other defects, so it will not be right for us to, and that person will not accept it also. The way the case of Ramakrishna Paramhansa, where the sweet was there and mother, and he used to eat sweet, and then finally he told the lady to bring the child after 40 days. And he practiced that not eating sweet. And then when he told, it was so effective on the child. So I think in this case, what I feel is that a person who is following and who is perfect in that, he has the better right to tell others to correct them, and then the person having the defect and still telling the others to correct it. Saira.
Sairam. Another open question for everyone. What would you do, let's say, if someone did something right, but was not in a gentle way of doing? He did something right, but not. I mean, the way he taught is correct. It's his duty to say, but the way he say hurt the other person. So in your own way, like you tell this person that it could be done in a proper way, but this person who make the other person angry, although he is right, say, I did it correct. So he won't even listen to your advice. What will you do? Hope you can understand the question. This person did something right, but not in a very smooth way, rather in a rude way. He did something right, but in a rude way. and you saw that, and then you advised him in a very nice way that it can be done in a better way. But he said, I was right, and he won't listen to you. What will you do in this situation, Sadam?
I think hurting means doesn't only hitting or something. It's saying harsh word also is like a hurting. So telling a polite way is also a way of ahimsa only. And somebody is doing very unpolite words to say, it means he's in the words he is not very polite and very loving, though he's correct. So I feel that he need to be corrected. That yes, you have done it rightly, but it could have been done in this way. That it could have been more pleasing and more. It brings a lot of people together, because once you're sweet in the voice and you're telling the truth, it is more conducive to get more support and more people. So that's why the good leaders, good people, they succeed in a life, because when they speak, the love which is going from their heart is permeating the listener, and a lot of people get influenced by them. So I feel that speaking the loving way is also one of the way of following Dharma. Saira.
Yeah, Manoj, I agree with you. Now the thing is done in a sweet way to remind him that, the way he talks is not right. But when he answered back, right, he said, what I did was right. Even you ask him to talk in a sweet manner, he won't listen, So the next thing is, what will you do? What can you do? Or is there a way to help him to realize that, you talk in a very hurting way?
Yeah, I think what we have to do is wait for the right moment and right time. So because see, maybe he must be agitated or something like that. That's why he could not. Because my human mind keep changing, the moods keep changing. So it may not be proper to correct him that side, because you tried to correct and he didn't listen. But there will be a time, a moment when you can meet him and explain to him that I understand you did it correct, but if it was done this way, it could have been more better. In his receptive mood, I think we can always go and tell him, so that it can becomes more effective. That's what I feel that I will do that way if it is done for his good. Saira.
Yeah, Brother Manoj, what you say is true. It was done like that in the proper mode, proper time, telling him very nicely. And his answer was, I was right, nothing wrong. So what can you do after that?
So I just want to say something. What Dr. James said reminds me of an incident. I met a youth the other day. Several youth actually, they stopped coming to the center. I don't want to mention which center. When I asked them why, they gave me a reason that someone
Sorry,
someone
brother,
said
can't hear
something
you
that
properly. Can you speak? The mic was not clear. Sairam, not clear your voice.
Maybe I think it's gone off.
Can you hear now, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, so when I met a couple of youth. When I asked them why they stopped coming to the center, they told me a certain individual told them something and they got offended and they stopped coming to the center because of that. Yeah, and the individuals are uncle and aunties. So many youth don't come to the center. This is one of the reasons that I found the other day.
Sairam, brother. Sairam, brother. Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
All right. This is an I had a situation. Somebody narrated this to me. This person is a doctor, and he is very good in his work, and he is tied up to this feeling of efficiency, and he expects every of his juniors who are in the hospital to look at their position with self-respect and sacrifice wants to enter this hospital. So that means to say they are been groomed to look on patient safety and for family happiness, good health, that kind of a situation. So this particular doctor is very much in love with his work. All right. Now there is a junior doctor who is mindful about procedures, but did not follow the procedures and brought a matter before the senior doctor. So the senior doctor explained to the doctor on the consequences of doing this matter directly without the procedures. And it could affect, and it's got many, many ill consequences as a result of what she has done. So the manner he said it was, of course, not polite, but meaningful. Rightly, this doctor should have absorbed that, and then she should have mentally reassessed the situation, given an apology, and would have pleaded for this particular, to the doctor, to take an exception to this particular case and consider the matter. The doctor voluntarily took the matter and then handled it, managed it well, but wonder about what she has done could have bad effects. So this doctor began to cry, and she went back and lodged a complaint. And as a result of the complaint, reached the complaint, after about a week or so, there's going to be an inquiry. And as usual, when there's a complaint, there must be an inquiry. Why must this happen and things like that? Now, this doctor, the senior doctor who had reprimanded this young lady, had to go through 1 week of internal harassment. Like what? Why should this come to me? Why must this girl behave like this? I mean, she has already been taught something correct. She ought to follow. It is for her own good. And things like that. I may have been a little bit more excited about my work. I may have been rude, like what she says. But the point is, there's a serious mistake. So this thing went on for 1 week, and then he went for the inquiry, and he explained himself. Now, I explained to him like this. I said, why do you have to go through this 1 week of internal turmoil over an incident which is right? On your part, you have done right. But very important is, although the lady has made a mistake, as in your opinion, there is a way of explaining. There's a way of explaining to this lady. And that lady, I said, Swami has said, as we discussed in the last time, Satyam bruet, Priyam bruet. This means, speak the truth. Yes, that's what you've done. The pleasant truth, but not the unpleasant truth. And I also said, if you still insist, you have to speak to the girl so that she will learn something from you without any fear, but full of respect and love, then you have to speak in a pleasant way. And that way, she would have learned something because she is an intelligent person. She's a doctor. Therefore, it will register in her, and she ought to think that this is what my superior wants, and in future she will not do. So it's very important on the manner you speak and how you adjust to the situation. I'm telling you this because this doctor went through 1 week of turmoil in his mind. It is not healthy. So he's not happy. For 1 week, he wasn't happy, fearing the consequences of the inquiry. What happens? Somebody who's sitting in the inquiry happens to be a relation of this lady. Surely he is going to support her. There'll be some bias and things like that. These are all human factors. Therefore, how do you overcome this? Before an incident of this, an event like this happens, you have to rehearse within yourself. Like you can say a prayer. You can call the divine within you. You got to manage that part, fully realizing that there is a mistake somewhere. But because there is going to be a relationship for a long time, this doctor is going to come around you again and again with work, got to consult you. the important thing is to manage this relationship. And this relationship can be managed by being pleasant. So what I feel is, when you want to talk with somebody who is very difficult, then you got no choice but to listen carefully without interrupting him. Very important, you don't trespass into this particular region when he is talking. Internally, you'll say, this fellow is a useless guy. Internally, you say, this fellow can never learn. Internally, you say, this fellow has got to face the consequences. Don't have to say, you're passing judgment. Don't pass judgment. Listen to him. And like what Brother Mano says, wait for another day. And then you speak to him. And maybe another 2 times or 3 times, you have to speak to him and bring him down to realization. What are you going to tell him? You have got to transfer knowledge to him. What have you learned in the 9 code of conduct? It says, speak softly. Why do you have to agitate yourself and talk loudly on a point which you know and she knows? It is just a matter of adjusting to the situation, because on the part of the lady, there was an error of judgment. Maybe she had something else to do. Maybe there was an emergency. She had no chance to go following the procedures, and she has come before you. So these are things which we have learned, and we can transfer this knowledge without mentioning Swami if he's not a Sai devotee, but bringing in the knowledge to let that person know, so that the person becomes relaxed and understand that this is the way to manage human relationship. Sairam, brother.
Yes, Sairam, Brother Rama very nicely explained the situation. Because to explain this, I feel there's a very good saying in Hindi that Vidya dadate vinayam. The more you know, the more humble you become. Like even Einstein also, when a person like that caliber, he says, my God, I have so many things yet to learn. And he felt so small. So idea is that doctor in this case must be a good doctor, must be very knowledgeable, but he felt that whatever he is doing is the best. The ego in him was acting on it. And that was a reason for him to go through this 1 week of that humbling down that ego, that I can only do the way the things are going. So recently I just got a very good video post of him in a very humorous way that a donkey was moved around the village, and the villagers have put God's photo on the top of him, of the donkey. So whichever village used to go, people used to bow and respect him. So from one village to another he went, and in the return they left the donkey empty, and then donkey returned back to his own village, first village. But then he realized that nobody is respecting him on his return. The earlier people used to be standing when the photo was there on his back, but when he returned, nobody is praying and nobody is looking at him. Even some they hit him when he was standing on the way. So these sort of things happens in a life, that when we get little knowledge, when we get little this thing, we feel that it is my knowledge. But actually the donkey didn't understand it was not him. It was the God's photo that which people are worshipping. So in the same way, government officials, the people in the power, once they retire, they don't realize that it is not their ability. It is the power of the chair which gives them the strength to speak and people to obey. The moment they are off the chair, the respect goes. And once they realize that, these sort of officers, when they're in power, they'll be very humble, they'll be very loving, they'll be very caring, and they do much better, and they will be respected even after the jobs are gone. So this is what I feel, that this rudeness or this thing comes because the person feels that what I have done is the only way which can be done. There's so many ways to do that thing, But at the same time, we should not feel proud that I have done it correctly and this is what is the only way to do it. And when it comes, that is the problem that these people has to go through this mental trauma. Sai Ram.
Mr. Prasanna has raised a hand.
Sai Ram, yeah, this is a very interesting conversation. I know we had a situation or an experience in SSC. You know, as teachers, we always expect certain dress code for children, and we always emphasize that. And once one of the children in our congregation was wearing something that one teacher could not approve, and so she went to her and told her immediately, "Oh, you should not be wearing these types of things." And that just before she was going to go speak or something like that. And then I was thinking, oh my God, why did she go tell her now? We could have taken her out somewhere else, and when she's not going to be really impacted by it, when we tell her immediately. That was my thought process. But then my fellow teachers were saying, if you don't address things immediately at that point, the impact will not be understood. So I couldn't really agree with it, but I was just wondering if is that right, really? Like the impact will not be felt if it's not addressed immediately. Isn't it enough as long as we really take care to address it and say it in the kind way that you were saying, so people don't do it again? That is the goal, right?
Yeah.
So is it impactful to just say it immediately so people will understand?
Yeah, so following the principle of that river of Dharma moving towards the destination of Satya. So now the key question is, it's not about what is right and what is wrong, but the context of the situation must be taken into consideration. And that can only come when we are moving towards Atma. That means you are concerned about the sensitivity, you're concerned about the person's feelings, everything is taken into consideration. And by humiliating or by alerting that individual in the front of everybody, that will cause more damage, because then it is very difficult to get that person back again, simply because people have heard and all that. So there's also space, there's also time, there is also situation. All these three things must come into occur. So it is appropriateness. That means now when we are saying something, Dharma of a teacher is also to look at the appropriateness of the whole situation, so that the message really goes very well and accepted, and correction takes place at that point. But if you're devoid of those three dimensions of space, time, and situation, then you'll find that we lose context. You may have the content correct, that is to say, but the context of it is gone out of line. That is when the problem comes. So every time, everything must be within the CC. Content must be within the framework of the context in order for Dharma to take place. Proper Dharma.
Okay, good, brother. That gives me confidence now. Thank you.
We had a center that it used to run by Auntie, but she used to be very strict. The instrument should be kept here, the flower should not be there, and somebody, if he goes out of tune or something, she will look back and stare at people. So people were scared to sing bhajans in front of her. It so happened that very few people started going there to that center. But she could not realize that what is the reason. But she's an old lady, so nobody, out of love and respect, people used to go. But if she would have just changed her behavior, maybe told the people in separate place and saying that it was not good, you should do like, you should rehearse the bhajan and all those things, I think that could have been a thriving center. So idea is that where even the spiritual context also, people think that they are correct, but there's a proper time for them to tell in, not everywhere, when everybody is sitting and singing and then look at them and say all those things. So this is what Brother Suresh said, is context and the time is also very important. Sai. I think Sister Kamlesh, you can continue.
Yes, so I'll go forward. Okay.
Yeah.
And So we start with Sister Shamini. Sister Shamini, please. Sister Shamini, are you there? I saw her name, I think, yes. Or maybe then I will read out what she said. Sister Shamini said that she had attended 8 weeks of mindful cognitive classes with Brother Sabitan, and being mindful helped her to practice the harmony in thought, word, and deed. And the 9 codes of conduct and meditation had also helped her to put those in practice. And now unconsciously, she is making daily decisions, actions, reactions, responses very truthfully. And constantly, she is connecting herself to Swami. And it has helped her the most to make not good, but the rightful decisions, even if it was painful. And though challenging in the beginning, full of doubts, but eventually she would see and feel that those were the best decisions that she had ever made. So just need to make the practice, and it becomes automatic in aligning the thoughts, words, and actions, and it will seem interlinked. So basically, she was getting strength out of practicing the mindful cognitiveness, and she was practicing the harmony in thought, word, and deed. It has helped her. And so next we go to Brother Manoj. Brother Manoj, please.
So this same Namavali, that Om Shri Satya Sāi, Satya Dharma Parāyaṇāya Namaḥ. So each glorious name is an indication of his divine nature and inspiration for us to contemplate upon his divine nature by imbibing his glorious teaching and discover the divine within ourselves. So the Sanskrit word Namaḥ, actually normally we say Namaste, so means I bow to you, or reverential salutation. It is used to express respect and devotion to the deity or higher power and to ask for their blessings. For example, Om Namah Shivaya translate to I bow to Lord Shiva. And Nama is also as a part of Sanskrit word Namaste, which we normally in Hindi or India they say, which combines Nama with Te, meaning to you. Namaste literally means, translate I bow to you. It means that I realize that there's an Atma in you, and I bow to that higher self of Atma in you. But the literal meaning of the Sanskrit word Nama is also not me, not my ego self. There is a hidden yogic relevance to this. It says Nama or Nama is a reversal of Sanskrit word for mind, man or nam. You see, man or mana. So the English word man has its root in the Sanskrit called man, or the mind. So chanting Nama in a mantra means Om Namah Shivaya reverses the outward flow of mind towards the senses, and it goes inwards, that is towards the purified intellect. And this is the meaning of the real yoga. Next slide, please.
Yes.
So what will I do to strengthen my commitment to purity and unity of thought, words, and deed, and thus contribute to the greater good of society? It happens that at times we fall in situations that our preconcept mind doesn't conform with the conscience. This is how slowly the journey starts. The purity and the unity in the thought, words, and deed will come with time of practice, and with its awareness. It is not a magic that today I have done it and good and deed or read a good book that the purity will come. Buddha took so many births to reach the state of nirvana. We too need to polish our mental thinking to get more and more purity. Whatever a little impurity enters, our conscience is the compass to awaken us to it. Therefore, the satsang, Sai literature, reading, study circles help us to move towards our, like every satsang we leave, we become little bit more wiser than what we are, because those incidences, those stories narrated, it changes our viewpoint in living. So there was a case of in the practical case that the boss needs accounts in a certain way for his accountant, from his accountant, who on the other hand, he's a truthful and honest. If he doesn't follow the boss, he will be fired because he needs the service also. So Swami's teaching should be followed, but slowly, so that later he can convince the boss of his truthfulness. When you're firmly committed to your ideals, it gives the confidence, because you don't want to lose your job also, as you have the family to look after. So he prayed sincerely and intensely. It so happened that in due time, the boss changed his mind and agreed to the honest accounts as prepared by him. So this is how we can bring about change through the purity in our thought, words, and deeds. Because what happens that when you go to office, start working, slowly, when if you're an honest, a truthful man, you start showing it in your behavior. You start showing it in your dealing with others, and slowly your impression falls that, oh, he's a right man. We cannot tell him to do something wrong. So this is how your personality affects the environment in the office, and you can change the place with your sticking to the dharma, sticking to the truth. So this is what I felt, that it is not only we are changing our place, our environment also with our behavior. And finally, suppose if a player comes to the office, or as a guest in your house, what you will talk? His personality of the game or something like that is so that you speak only about the game and other things. So in the same way, if a person is truthful, I mean, if you come from satsang and all those things, people would like to listen to those sort of things. So this is how your aura, your personality goes with you, and people talk those things only which you like it, which you as per your personality. So by following the truth, by following the dharma, it is not only we are changing ourselves, we are changing the environment also. This is what we have to take care. Sister, another?
Can you say another?
Yeah, no, it's not. I thought there's something more left for me. So this is what I felt, that at times the situations come that we have to compromise that, oh, what my job, my bread butter is dependent on this. If my boss gets angry, what shall I do? But at the same time, as you can tell if he's doing wrong, tell in a polite way, or slowly at some time of your job, we should say that, sir, I cannot do it because it's not ethical and my conscience doesn't allow. So these sort of the firm faith in the Atma gives you the strength. And I think when you speak with that conviction, you change your bosses or the environment in your place, and this is how the place also changes, that your personality is known, and they will not, in the future, they will not come to you to do anything wrong. They will think, oh, right thing you do it is okay. So this is how, by sticking to the dharma, sticking to the real goal of our life, if we slowly start practicing by doing this satsang, reading the books, and thinking about, contemplating about, slowly it changes you. At the same time, it changes others also. And this is what that we have to follow in our life. Silent.
Thank you, Brother Manoj. Very interesting. And now, Sister Ramani, Sister Ramani, please, may we
Yes.
have your sharings?
Yeah, Sairam.
Sairam.
Yes. Yeah, in what I said was in some situations, it's difficult to be truthful and righteous always, but in what we do. But if we pray to Swami for his guidance and pray to him and adopt the right actions, Swami will always let us pass through this, whatever the situation, successfully. So our peace of mind is maintained, and we are also helping society too in that manner. I just related my experience that day. When I was driving in the wrong lane, I had made a mistake, and the cop took my license away. So I was parked, but I didn't get down. And inside the car, we were also advertised. And a discussion started among us. Someone said that, we could give a bribe. So I said, no, it's, why didn't you, the 9-point code of conduct, we can't give. So the argument went, one person said, no, you can't, you can give, but you can't take. So I was like, insisting that it goes both ways. And then immediately Swami's name also was mentioned, and the cop came up to my, he took my license and went, once you when they take the license, they will never give it back. They'll write the ticket and give the ticket to you. So he came and he tapped on my side of the shutter, and so I thought, okay, he was going to give me the ticket. And I put the shutters down, and he just gave me the license and said, Miss, you can proceed. Just like that. And there was dead silence in the car, because it never happens that way. So I think in difficult situations, you ask for his assistance, that divine strength, that he will be there for you. So this is what I shared with you that day. And
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
things work out right always. Okay, Sairam, Sairam.
Thank you very much, Sister Ramani. And we also said that how, like, taking the divine name, it changes the mind of the other person also, the cops.
Yes.
He changed
Yes.
his mind, right?
Yes. But I'm sure he didn't even hear anything, because the shutters were all up in the night.
No, it automatically,
So,
the vibrations
yes,
travel to him.
vibrations, yes.
So it's Sairam. Thank you so much. Now it's Sister Kamlesh, myself. So I had also similar experience, like in some situations, it's really difficult to be righteous and truthful. But Swami's guidance will also be with us to take the right actions. So it was sometimes ago, while driving, I had to cross the white line, which is wrong. So I crossed this white line to allow the vehicles which are held up behind me to take a U-turn. So I was at the crossing, and the cop stopped me and took me into his cabin at the crossing junction. Now, my belief is to be fearlessly truthful to myself. And even when I do wrong, because I'm helping the other person out of compassion. I told the cop about my intention, that I did not want to be a nuisance to the traffic behind me. And that's why I took the wrong change. I took the wrong lane. So though it took some time, but it softened the heart of the cop, who returned my license without taking a fine, saying that in future I need to be very careful. So he let me go. So this is like, though there was a little fear also, I was very fearless also, but if it didn't give me my license now and it was getting dark, I had to reach home. So I was just praying to Baba. I was trying to see Baba in him. Baba be in him, and please do something. So this was how the things all became very easy for me also. When the copy returned, and very politely he said, "Be careful in future."
I
And
think we have to
another,
stop, sister. Sister, we have to stop. It's already.
it's 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we can discuss it next time.
Yeah, but Suresh, you see, next
Myra?
week, next week is 24th of December, which is Christmas
New
Eve.
Year.
And then following day is 25th Christmas. So I wonder, will all of you be around, or maybe some of you may be traveling. So should we still have the satsang next week?
I think the silence looks that everybody's there.
Okay, so silence means everyone will be around. Okay.
Tuesday is 24th. Yes, I'll be here.
24th is
Yes.
Christmas Eve.
Hmm.
25th is
I'll
Christmas.
be here.
Should be, Billy, I think should be
post it.
okay, you know.
Okay.
We only know that center like 1st of January. Some they celebrate midnight, and that
Oh,
one will be
okay.
a bit difficult. I think Christmas should be okay. I think. I don't know. It's open to everyone.
Okay. Oh, someone mentioned we are celebrating Christmas. Okay. Okay. Can you put in the chat?
I feel Christmas should be okay, you know.
I think people are silent, so I'm wondering that they want to come.
No, I think maybe we can. There may be not many people, or I don't know, but if you all want, we still can continue. What do you all think?
Probably those who cannot make it, just mention their name or indicate.
Okay, there'll be some people who might not be able
I'll
to.
be here.
Govin, what you said, I don't know what you mean by JSR means what?
This
Yes, I
Yes,
know.
yeah.
Oh. Okay. Anyway, I think I tell you what, love. Those who can make it, try and make it, and then anyway it's recorded. So those who can't, then we can always listen to them, I suppose. Is that
Yeah.
fair? Is that something fair, or you all want to take a break?
I think for satsang,
No.
people will love to have that. So
Okay, so I think if generally silence, which means everyone is okay lah. So we carry on next week.
yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so I think what we do is we try and come on call, and then later we can always if there's anybody who doesn't want, then it's okay. Otherwise, we'll carry on. What do you think, Billy?
Yeah. Okay, so with that we end the satsang tonight. So thank you everyone for joining us for the next satsang. So let's end with 3 ohms. Okay. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Saram, Saram.
Saira.
Sairam, brother, Sairam.
Uh,